Good afternoon. My name is Odie Hawkins, and I'm doing this reading 2 days late because I had to rush off to Indonesia for an important conference. The meeting was canceled, so I had to rush right back. And of course, that makes me 2 days late reading this media column. I hope nobody believes any of this, because I'm just 2 days late and I'm making up some excuse, and my wife is laughing at me because the excuse is so absurd.
Yes.
Okay, but I hope you all understand that we can't get together here on Monday and Tuesday, every Monday and Tuesday, because some Mondays and some Tuesdays are very, very different and filled up with so many different things. You look up and it's Wednesday. So here we are on Wednesday, and here's what the column was about. December 15th, 31st, 1997. I'm calling the column, That Language Can Kill. That language can kill. You see what I mean? Oh, before I start that though, I'd like to talk a little bit about a movie we just saw called Air. And in brief, the story is about the capitalization of Michael Jordan and what happened to bring about the Michael Jordan shoe, the one he flows through the area
Nike.
with when he was doing it.
The Nike.
The Nike. And all of the shenanigans that go on behind the scenes in order to have the capitalism work the way it does. The thing that's so disappointing about it was the part that Viola Davis, a superb actress, was, I guess I want to say forced to play, not forced to play, but signed to play. She would have been a bit actress rather than the superb actress she is. And aside from everything else, the makeup they had of this woman made her look like a chimpanzee at times. Trust my word for it. If you see it in the movies, be sure and write the producer, don't do that anymore. We stopped doing that when they took Aunt Jemima off the box of pancakes. Once again, the language can kill. That language can kill.
But other than the makeup job, for the most part, it's a pretty good flick.
Well, given her standing and her, her immense acting capabilities, she should have been playing a larger role than somebody was. She didn't come into the movie until it was halfway over.
Well, the mother of Michael Jordan, yeah.
The mother of Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Well, this particular edition of Media Watch, this is what I call the column, could have been about the marvelous exhibit at the Natural History Museum, 900 Exposition Boulevard, Exposition Park, near the Rose Garden in California. The exhibit is called Africa, One Continent, Many Worlds. It's almost shocking in the British sense of the word to find such a multifaceted display of Africana in this, the original land of Tarzan. Yes, we know, he was an English aristocrat who crashed in the jungle, one Lord Greystoke, who bonded with the gorillas and all of that sort of rubbish. That's the way the story starts, if you go to the origins of it. The exhibit, first in America, closes January 4th, 1988. Adults, $6, children, $13, $18. Students with ID, seniors, $3.50. Children 5 to 12, $2. Children under 5, free. Call 213-763-DINO for ticket info. Go now. Well,
it goes back to 1997, yes.
That's what happens when things
pass you by.
Have gone.
Rip Van Winkle.
Ben was then and now it's not.
Yes.
Si se puede. This edition of Media Watch might have been about the incredible lectures that Dr. Samela Lewis, a world-class expert on African-American art, gave at the Center, Phoenix Hall, WLCAC, 10950 South Central Avenue on November 8th, 1997. WLCAC is still there. Watts Labor Action Committee. This particular Media Watch column might have been about a number of media events and happenings, but they were hijacked by a coterie of African American teenagers. A little background music is necessary here to see what the dance was about, is about. Rolling away from a colon check at the Palo Alto VA hospital. Have yours this year? 10 minutes of discomfort may be responsible for saving your life. Stupid to die from something that is 99% preventable. To have a Thai lunch with my psychic friend Jesse in Berkeley. Busing from Palo Alto to Berkeley, gorgeous day, not paying much attention to anything specific. 2 Rosa Parkses sat across the aisle, one ground nut brown, the other Ghanaian chocolate, both lovely women like Rosa Parks herself. It started like an avalanche when 2 teenage African-American girls stomped to the rear of the bus. What follows is a censored version of their verbal pollution. So I just came straight out and told them, MF, you can kiss my M ass. Wow, I thought you had it going on. I thought you two had it going on. Me too. Till his effing mama started getting up in my M face and SHIT. What the B say to you? Oh, she come up with some BS about me being there when she was at work and stuff. And Bobby, who's supposed to be my nigga, right? He come off on her side. And you been giving him PUSSY out of both panty legs and a lot of head too. Seems like every time I look up, this N wants me to be sucking on this thing. You must got good head. The rawness of the conversation struck the 2 Rosa Parks as dumb. They stared at each other, searching to understand what they were hearing. What's up with you and Sneaky Pete? F that poor ass MF. Every time I see him, he begging for some money or some PUSSY. Jive ass M. The interior of the bus was reduced to cemetery silence. Only the obscene conversation of the 2 Negrocentrics was heard. It seemed fairly obvious that they were hard of hearing, judging by the decibel level of their voices. For long moments, they practically screamed into each other's faces. The 2 Rosa Parks' bodies made interesting moves. First, they were sitting tall, back straight, chins held high. After 10 blocks of unimaginative profanity from the back, they began to slump as though their backbones were being crushed. Simultaneously, they slowly turned to stare at the 2 nasty-talking girls in the back of the bus. So then I just told the N, straight up, MF, you've been telling me I'm the bomb and shit. Now you giving me some BS about what your effing mama said. F that shit. Yeah, girl, you gotta be careful of them N's that let their mama jerk them around by their thangs. Miss Parks, number 1 and 2, stared into each other's faces once again, their cheeks washed by a thin stream of tears. It would have been impossible to misunderstand why they were crying. They were shedding tears of shame. We turned to stare at the 2 girls who were causing their grandmother so much pain. The dirty mouth duo seemed inspired by the attention paid to them. Their filthy conversation escalated to the hysterical level. If the MFN wants some more of this PUSSY, he gonna have to beg for it or pay. I heard that. We staggered off the bus behind Mrs. Parks 1 and 2. Father in heaven, Miss Parks said to her friend, where on earth did those children learn how to use language like that? It's got to be from their parents. And that's where children learn to talk from. I felt tempted to wedge myself into the conversation and ask, have you listened carefully to the latest rap CD, the most current movie, or paid close attention to the state of the nation's immorality? But I punked out. How could you explain how insensitive the verbal pollutionists are? They're like Marlboro smokers. From the mouths of babes, off come gems, and nowadays, a lot of other stuff.
Ah. That reminds me of your film that you made with Greg. Familiar Strange.
Every telephone, did you check that out? Every telephone conversation they had between these men, it was all men speaking to each other because the movie was just simply male chauvinist oriented, period. Every conversation was FFFF and FFFF, yeah, it was. So, I mean, it's like going to some movies or to seeing commercials where every scene shows somebody being shot, and people wonder, so where do these assassins get their techniques from, or what provokes them to shoot each other?
The movie Familiar Strangers on the bus in Santa Monica, that's what I'm thinking about. That was a cute little flick. Familiar Strangers.
Yeah.
On the bus, and Greg was the bus driver. Yeah.
I'm proud to say that I wrote that.
You did.
And that it deals with what happens when people take the same bus every day and the kind of interactions they have with each other. And in that particular scene, I wrote the scene which my friend Craig Ali produced and starred in, as a matter of fact. Short film, about 15 minutes long.
It's on YouTube.
Is that right?
Yeah, Familiar Strangers.
Okay. Well, we talked about it and how it was that in the public is almost trained or seduced into behaving in the way that people around them behave.
Yeah.
In that particular scene, for example, there's a young white couple who neck in the front seats, and some Asian people, I think a couple of women, look at it and they're just astounded that people would show that much public affection. The two girls that Selena is mentioning are coming from the place that this column comes from, which is use any language you feel, no matter how inappropriate it might seem to be, because, well, who cares?
Yeah.
And
you don't know enough that you're disrespecting yourself and your elders.
Well, a lot of people these days, I hate to say it, don't think that there is language that can show disrespect.
This is true.
If it's person to person, you MF, that's person to person. But on the casual level, I mean, I've heard people talk in the supermarket on their cell phones about things that are so intimate you would think, wait a minute, you're sharing this with the general public?
Yes, I know.
But that's where it goes. I'm not going to belabor the point because they have their stuff to do and we have our things to do. So until next time,
your website is...
what is my website?
Your website is www.odiehawkins.com, and I hope Mrs. Robertson got your email.
Mrs. Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, I'm sorry.
Mrs. Monica Rodriguez.
Yes, okay. So
she will. I'm sure she will.
All right, and we'll respond favorably. But with that,
Bit.
Nis.